in a world that pushes perfectionism and pushes us to be different than what we really are. But we also live in a world that encourages us to embrace our imperfections and love ourselves. But aren't those mixed messages? Self-love has become such a buzzword. You see self-love quotes everywhere you go. On your Facebook, on your social media, on mugs, on journals. And that's a good thing. We need those reminders. But do we know how to love ourselves? Do we know what the process of self-love even looks like? Do we actually know what self-love means? If you were to Google self-love, a lot of articles on self-care come up. And self-care is defined as taking time for yourself to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. For example, drinking more water, a spa day, meditation, time to read a book, exercising, eating healthy. All of those are self-care practices. These are things that we do that makes us feel good. Practicing self-care, doing those things, is definitely part of self-love. It's the fun and easier part of learning how to love ourselves. But it's just the surface. We can't truly say that we love ourselves if we only hang on the surface. To truly love ourselves, we must find the courage to dig deeper into who we truly are. To dig deeper, we must shine a light to those parts of ourselves we've been fighting with or hiding from, pretending they don't exist. I spent a lot of years declaring war against those parts of myself I didn't like. Not really knowing that those parts I didn't like were also part of me. Not knowing that by declaring war, what I was actually doing was fighting with myself internally. And guess what? I lost every time. What I know today is that self-acceptance is the only way to win that war and gain self-love. Self-acceptance is exactly what the name suggests. It's the state of complete acceptance of oneself. It's embracing who we are without any labels, conditions, or exceptions. It's accepting all the facets of the self. It's accepting not only the bright and shiny parts, the parts we like, but also accepting those parts of ourselves we don't want to admit to having, our flaws, our imperfections, our mistakes, failures, the pain. Those parts we don't want to admit to having are also part of us. Those are our shadow. Self-acceptance has nothing to do with self-improvement. Self-acceptance isn't about fixing ourselves. Self-acceptance, it's about affirming the whole self. All of our strengths and weaknesses, our bright parts and our shadows. Self-acceptance is focused on the present moment. It's not focused on the future. I would like to point one very important thing to understand about self-acceptance. To fully accept yourself and all of your flaws and mistakes does not mean that you condone any bad behavior or accept and embrace unhealthy and harmful actions. You do not need to condone or approve of your actions to accept that you did engage in those actions. Accepting yourself for who you are and acknowledging your shadows does not mean that you must like or celebrate every single aspect of yourself. So I invite you to pause, breathe, and notice the relationship you have with yourself. I want to invite you to accept yourself as you are in this moment. I want you to be grateful for the light, but I don't want you to fight the shadows. Instead, I want you to hold space for it. It is possible to accept and love yourself and still be committed to a lifetime of personal growth. So may you fall in love with the process of self-acceptance and be completely yourself so that everyone else feels safe to be completely themselves as well.